Hi, my name is Luis, and I'm a tutor at the Writing Center. Today we're going to be talking about the QEAL Method. The QEAL Method is used to give effective and helpful feedback to students who submit their writing to our online feedback lab. But before we get started, can you guess what these letters stand for? Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. QEAL is an acronym for question, explain, anticipate, and link. So how'd you do on the quiz? Since online writing does not include in-person interaction, we as tutors need to provide specific feedback so students don't feel confused or frustrated once they read our comments. The QEAL method allows you to systematically provide thorough feedback on writing. Q stands for question. If part of a student's writing is unclear, instead of stating that it's unclear, lean into it with a question. For example, you could say, "What do you mean by this?" You can also use probing questions to encourage students to think deeper about their writing. I often ask, "Are there any more examples you can include? Do you agree with this statement?" And so on. E stands for explain. After asking a question, explain why you asked that question. You can also explain a writing or grammar concept. For example, in an essay about sharks, you could say, "As a reader, it's a bit unclear what you're trying to say. Your previous sentence argues that sharks are important for the ecosystem, and then you say sharks have been negatively portrayed in the media. Adding transition here will help with the flow of your argument and your paper." A means anticipate. Think about any follow-up questions a student may have and answer those questions too. In the example, after Harriet explains why she asked a question accompanied by a writing concept, she needs to anticipate questions a student might ask. If a student is unfamiliar with transitions, they might ask, "What are transitions?" Harriet anticipates this question by explaining, "A transition can be a word or phrase that connects two ideas, sentences, or paragraphs." L stands for link. Sometimes, in order to explain or anticipate, you can link a resource if you have one. After Harriet defines transitions, she can add a link that explains more. Make sure to link websites that are legitimate sources of information, such as OWL Purdue, other writing centers, or approved grammar websites. You can also link any of our handouts if they apply. Here's Harriet's complete comment using the QEAL method. Question: What do you mean by this? Explain: As a reader, it's a bit unclear what you're trying to say. Your previous sentence argues that sharks are important for the ecosystem, and then you say sharks have been negatively portrayed in the media. Adding a transition here will help with the flow of your argument and your paper. Anticipate: A transition can be a word or phrase that connects two ideas, sentences, or paragraphs. Link: For more information about transitions, you can refer to this website. Not all of the QEAL steps need to be used for every comment, but they are meant to guide you when you write your feedback. Before we close, here are some tips for giving feedback. First, don't be afraid to take your time. It's important to be thorough with your feedback, which can take a bit more time. Second, use common, everyday language. What I mean is try to avoid specific words such as clause, predicate, and syntax. If you do choose to use complex English terminology, you should explain what those words mean. This is a method you can use during tutoring sessions and when providing feedback for online writing. Third, don't be afraid to add something to another tutor's comment. Not everyone has the same thought process. So if you read another tutor's comment and feel the need to add a little more, then do it. I like when people add to my comments because sometimes I forget to add something or they offer another way of thinking about a concept. Lastly, be confident in your abilities. When I first began working at the Writing Center, I was nervous that my online feedback comments weren't helpful and that I didn't know enough about writing concepts. I had to remember that I was hired as a writing tutor because I am capable of explaining and understanding writing concepts. Also, using the QEAL method helped boost my confidence for writing helpful online feedback. To summarize, the QEAL method acts as a guide to help you write effective and helpful feedback for students who use our online writing services. Feel free to re-watch this video or refer to the handbook if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.